Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. This is Carla. I'm a life coach with AHA Coaching and Wellness. And this is a ZEMS member takeover. So, like I said, I'm a life coach with AHA Coaching and Wellness. I'm also a founding member at CommUnity CEOs. And today, my topic is self-care. Self-care is very important on many levels. Personally, it's great for stress management and just keeping your sanity for the day-to-day, everyday stuff. But what I find also that it's great for that most folks don't pay attention to in my line of work, life coaching, if you don't have good self-care, you're not going to be able to accomplish your goals. You're not going to hit your goals because you're going to be wound up so tight that to have the clear mind and focus that you need to accomplish whatever goal you want to accomplish, self-care is a big part of that. So one thing I wanted to talk, a quote I wanted to share real quick. I have the quote with me because I get a lot of the same question, what is a life coach? Like, really, what is that? So I found this quote, and I'm going to read it so I don't mess it up, by Elaine McDonald. And it sums it up beautifully. A life coach does for the rest of your life what a personal trainer does for your health and fitness. So I thought that was a great quote, and I use it all the time because it wraps up what a life coach is real simply and easily. But I am let's jump in. I have my notes here so I don't forget anything. Jump in with our self-care tips. I have 22. When it comes to just taking care of ourselves, of course, as human beings, we have our healthy coping skills and we have our unhealthy coping skills. So we all know as far as unhealthy coping skills, there's overeating, drugs and alcohol, smoking, it could even go as far as unprotected sex, that one night stand type thing. But we're not here to talk about the unhealthy. We're here to give you healthy coping skills so that when, life got you in a bind, and I use a lot of these myself, that you can pick from these to help you de-stress and clear your mind and, tackle whatever it is you need to tackle. So my first one is exercise. Y'all, I know, because I'm not great at exercising, but there's variations of exercise. And, you can play a sport, go for a walk, you could play games with your kids, just as long as you're getting your body moving, because once your body is moving, it releases these endorphins, and I'm not going to go into the scientific stuff, but exercise is great distressor, whether you believe it or not. Then there's writing. You could write, some people are creative and they write short stories or poems, or you can just do like journaling or start a gratitude journal. Personally, I like journaling. Usually I do it at night before bedtime to kind of mind dump so that I'm able to sleep, kind of get everything that's happened throughout the day, worries, things I need to do, so that I can just clear my head so I can get a good night's sleep. And then another one is being around other people. The worst thing you can do when you are stressed or whatever is to isolate. So, it sounds simple, but it really works. Being around someone else, whether it's a family member or a friend, it'll get you out your funk. You might for the first few minutes, be like a toddler and pouting, but once you get a good conversation going, maybe some jokes or whatever, it lightens you right up real quick. Another one is watching your favorite TV shows. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a Netflix junkie. And I have binge watched a show or two in my time. and sometimes some oldies, throw on Hulu and watch Golden Girls or something like that. Find something, Friends, I don't know. Find something that I call it mindless TV, funny comedy that can take your mind off of whatever might be going on. And for another one for my artists out there, drawing. Like doodling, painting. If you play an instrument, maybe do that. Something creative. Like I do with my kids, we make candles. So, but my kids are really artsy. They paint, they draw, they do all kinds of that, fun stuff. So that's a good way to get out of your head as well. And you don't have to be a fabulous drawer or anything like that. There are kits out there that you can get where that I found on Facebook where you can order all the supplies, and it's kind of like a paint by number. I think you look into that, but it's another way to get your mind off stress and just give yourself back some love. And for those people out there that love to pamper themselves, you could do your hair, your nails, run a bath, and just have a self-love day where you make sure your do's wrapped tight, your nails are done, do all that kind of personal hygiene. It's a way of loving on yourself. My favorite one next that I do in the shower or in the car by myself, singing. So play some tunes, put on the radio, get that favorite song on, that group, whatever it is, and just sing to the top of your lungs. Dance, have a dance party by yourself. What? Yeah, being. Yeah. But can you sing? No, I can't sing. Yeah. I used to be able to in my younger days. Supposedly, I was in a choir, but I don't know about now. That's why I said I sing in the shower and in the car by myself. Especially if I'm doing something like Whitney or Mariah, then definitely nobody can be around when I do that. And some people shy away from the next one, is having a good cry. It's okay to cry. It's absolutely okay to cry. My favorite place to have a good cry is in the shower, because nobody can tell. You're already wet. So, and usually, when you're in the bathroom, most times, people leave you alone. So you have that privacy. And, like I said, the privacy, the shower's going. No one will ever be the wiser. So, but having a good, sometimes real ugly cry can be really freeing and releasing. A good one that I don't do very often until my body forces me to is take a nap. You'll be surprised just taking a nap how your outlook will for the day, the situation, or whatever. Just taking a rest. Just taking, and I don't know about those power naps. They talk about 20-minute power naps, y'all. I can't do a power nap. It just makes me mad. So if I'm gonna take a nap, I'm gonna take a nap. So we already talked. Another one was taking a bath. We already talked about that one with as far as after you pamper yourself doing your nails or whatever, you could take a hot bath or a hot shower. I love hot showers. I can take a hot shower 2, 3, 4 times a day because it's very relaxing. Or pet an animal. Do you have a dog or a cat? You can just cuddle with them. From sometimes I'll say again, my dog, dog feeds off of your body language and your energy. And there are times that I don't even realize I'm stressed until my dog Black Check will literally force himself on me to give me a hug. And I'll sit there, and sometimes I push him away because I'm focused, I'm working, or I'm doing something. But when I get that awareness, that because like animals have that sense, I'll actually take the 5 minutes, give him the love that he's looking for. But I think really it's because he'll be asleep on the floor. Next thing you know, he's trying to get a hug. So he can feel my stress. So I take that time and, I'll play with him for about 5-10 minutes. And it actually, surprisingly to me, because my husband is really the animal person, but surprisingly to me, it really does help. It brings you back. I think it brings you to an awareness of, you don't realize how tight you're wrapped, how stressed you are. Because like I said, that animal was sleeping a minute ago. Next thing you know, he's in my lap like, okay, what's going on? Why are you? I can sense you from over here. So petting your animal. And if you don't have one, borrow one. I'm sure you probably know somebody that has a dog or a cat or something like that. Another one is retail therapy, but I would be careful with that one because that could easily become an unhealthy coping mechanism. But if you are strong-willed enough to, kind of do some window shopping and maybe get yourself a little something here and there, there's nothing wrong with some retail therapy. My trick, I'm going to tell you my trick, y'all. I go to the dollar store. I'll give myself a budget and probably like $20 or something like that. And I'll go to the dollar store and you come out feeling great. You only spent $20 and you have all these things. $20 Dollar Tree, most amazing thing. You trick your brain where you got that retail therapy and you only spend a little bit of money. So, and then there are those folks that cleaning and organizing is a self-care thing for them. I don't know about me. I clean because it's necessity and I like a clean house, but I don't know about stress relieving. But there are those folks that really it releases that tension to organize something, to clean something or whatever. So go ahead and clean that kitchen. Get on the ground. You may have some corners that you need to bust out with a toothbrush or something. I don't know. And then another one that I mentioned a little bit earlier was crafts, whether it be sewing or knitting or anything like that. The most crafts like I participate with my kids are making candles and things like that. My daughter makes things out of resin. So, but that's as far candle making as far as, because I actually enjoy it. It's mixing different things like the fragrances and the dried flowers and herbs. I like that. That's calming for me. My kids, they can get real creative real quick. Yeah, you say you clean when you're upset. Yeah, I think I do too. I'm more of an upset cleaner. Usually when I clean is out in because of course I'm not gonna have a dirty house. But when I do that deep cleaning, it's because I'm upset or then some. Definitely, I agree with that. And then reading a good book. That can definitely relieve, whatever type of books you're into, whether it's self-improvement or something like that, or just, I don't know, biography, whatever you're into, that could, silence the monkey mind and the racing thoughts to focus on whatever you're reading. So aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is great. I would suggest lavender. Lavender is very common. So if you have some essential oils and the thing to put it in, lavender. I've walked into some places where I've gotten energy work and I had to ask, what is that smell? What is that? And I had to buy lavender. Ever since then, I have lavender on hand all the time because once I get there, it's just so calming and I never knew what it was until one person told me and I was like, oh my goodness. And so sometimes I even sneak it in my kids' room when they're too active. I'll put it on in their room, put some lavender on to calm them down a little bit. And then moving from aromatherapy to something similar, meditation. I love meditation or prayer or even yoga, whatever your practice is. Mindfulness, that's another one in that category. Just basically with all of those, whether it be yoga, prayer, meditation, it's basically getting the mind still, being still and being in the moment, the present moment, and not thinking about the past or the future, and just listening to what may come to you, listening to whatever. Another one that I suggest that I do myself is cooking or baking. My 9-year-old loves to bake. I don't know where she gets it from because I'm not a baker, but she loves to bake. And she likes cooking as well, but baking is really her thing. But I remember in my younger day when I wasn't as busy with all the kids, I loved taking out a recipe book, and I would just flip through and just choose one. And it was really therapeutic to find all the ingredients and follow the instructions, and to have at the end of your, going through this recipe and following the directions, to have this beautifully like meal. And then I started having kids, and then I would make all these elaborate dinners and stuff like that, and they would be like, what's this? So after a while I got into that macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets thing. But I remember I used to make I would just take the cookbook and like, oh, I'm gonna make this, that looks good, the kids would look at me like, what in the world is this? What you mean you burn everything in the oven? Oh, do you forget about it, Yaya? Is that why you burn everything in the oven? You put in the oven? That could be. That happens to me sometimes. That's why I use my my Apple Watch, because I have done that and that's why cooking is more of a mindful activity where you need to be present in what you're doing. And sometimes when you get caught up with a lot of different things and being stressed and pulled in different directions, which I'm guilty of, I'll stick something in the oven and walk away and forget completely that I put something in the oven. So I have developed a habit where I put the timer on the oven, or I put it on my watch so that it's actually like tapping me like, hey, you got something in the oven. Because it just happened to me 2 nights ago, where I put something in the oven, and thank goodness, I guess my daughter was waiting for dinner. She was like, is the chicken finished yet? I was like, oh man, I forgot that it was even in the oven. But it didn't burn. I didn't burn it. I just forgot about it for a minute. Another great suggestion, which I've done time to time, where take a long drive. Just get in the car, no kids, nobody else, and just drive. It's hard to do sometimes when you have kids to get away. I'd be like, if I could just leave right now. But if there's another adult in the house, or if you have adult kids or whatever, sometimes just driving I've driven from one end of where I live to the other, and for no reason whatsoever, just to have alone time. And then I incorporate some of my suggestions. I'll take a long drive, turn up the radio, so I'm listening to some good music, my favorite songs, because I got the satellite radio, so I listen to the 90s and the early 2000s. What is it? I think it's called Fly or something like that on satellite radio. And I just sing. Ain't nobody there to hear me tell me if I'm good or bad, which it ain't none of their business anyway. But yeah, so a long drive. Yep, taking a walk. Absolutely. That's in the category. I put that in the category of exercise. Just moving your body and taking a walk in nature. Being in nature can just that peace, and then you're moving your body, so you're incorporating a lot of different things. And you're right, getting in the zone of when you're walking, if you have your earbuds, and that a lot of these suggestions you can like do together separately, of course, and you could do them together. I love music, so I always incorporate, whether I'm walking or driving, whatever, I always have some kind of music playing. But definitely a nice walk on a day, actually like today. Today's a nice day. Taking a walk, putting your earbuds in, and just not thinking about anything or anyone. And just be in that zone of focused on going where you're going, down the street or what have you. And for my gardening folks, getting in that garden, I've seen like relatives, my mom or whatever, where they get their hands in that dirt and they zone out. That's their piece right there, where they'll get, working to get your hands in the dirt to bring something to fruition. So yeah, those gardeners, man, they serious about their garden, getting the dirt and putting the seeds down and all of that. I would like to. I would love to actually have a garden that produces herbs and vegetables and things like that. I just haven't had the time to really dig deep. And then, from what I understand, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, there's certain times that you're supposed to do it, and then there's certain things, and I'm like, okay, I need like a gardening book, y'all. How do gardening 101? Somebody need to help me. And then I have two more for you. Video games. Like, okay, so hear me now. Video games are not just for the kids. They have some adult games too. They actually have all the board games that we grew up with on like the Switch and other games. So we've actually played like Trivial Pursuit, Wheel of Fortune, and things like that on the video game, where we're versing each other or playing, together or whatever. So there's a lot of games you can play as a family. My husband knows I like, I wouldn't say sci-fi. What would you categorize it as? I like mystery games, psychological games. So my husband has found me some games where it has to do with scavenger hunting, where you have to find this to do that, or if there was one I did like maybe a year or so ago, and it was like a psychiatrist that had some patients, and I love that. He knows I love that type of stuff. So those type of games I'll play on my own as kind of like who did it or whatever. So there are a lot of options out there. So video games are not for kids, not just for kids. They have the family element, and then mom and dad can actually get in on some of the action too, depending on what you might be into. And the last one I had was, which I have to remind myself of, because as far as work and my business and things like that, is something as simple as playing with your kids. And I'm not just talking about a video game or whatever. Actually, whatever it is they want to do, whether it's running in the backyard. My daughter's right now is heavy into volleyball. So following their lead and just remembering your own childhood and just playing. Forget about the bills, forget about the business, forget about if you have a 9 to 5, forget about anything, and just play. Like those times where I take my mind out my head and just remember, as far as being that carefreeness that kids have. And we've done jump rope, we've done double dutch, and like y'all, I ain't played double dutch and I don't know how many years. We ain't gonna talk about that. But just playing, and you'll see that once you finish, but by the time you finish making a fool out of yourself, well, at least I know I did, and the kids are laughing at you, because my kids laugh at me all the time, and you just whatever it is that they're doing, you've brought yourself to such a place of lightheartedness and joy that we forget to play. As adults, once we hit the adulthood and we got the bills, the kids, the spouses and all that, not everybody forgets it, but a good portion of adults, we forget how to just play and be joyful and be carefree. The bills are going to be there. All the other concerns are going to be there, but give yourself that moment of joy, of what a kid sees as joy, where they're so carefree and so relaxed and just so whatever. I love to try and get myself back to that place as much as I can. And then surprisingly, and it still surprises me to this day, that after doing all that, because when we don't do it, we're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. If I stop and do this now, I'm not going to be able to finish that. But what we don't realize is when we give ourselves and our mind a rest to just be playful and joyful and carefree, Once that's done, you'll be surprised, amazed of like the ideas, the creativity, the laser focusedness that comes with just giving yourself some love, some self-care. And that's why it's important. It's not only important because, stress management, stress kills, y'all, but not only for stress management, but if you want to look at it from a work perspective, you are more productive when you're taking care of yourself than when you're not. Because when you're not taking care of yourself, that's when you have brain fog. You can't, the ideas, your prioritization, it's like you're all over the place. You feel like you're all over the place. But when you rejuvenate yourself, when you take that time out and pamper yourself and give yourself love, it brings you back to a place of creativity. It brings you back to a place of where your mind is clear to help figure out that problem that for some reason you couldn't figure out for the life of you. And it's amazing how the brain works. Give yourself some love. Do it this weekend. Do a test. I don't care what it is that you got to do. I don't care what it is. Give yourself at least 30 minutes at the very least, more if you can, and really see how you feel afterwards. You'll really see how it just, things become just so much clearer. Okay, now I know I need to do this, and this. Okay, that makes sense. Or, now these creative ideas are just rushing to you and you have to write them down. Test it out and let me know how it goes. But self-care, pampering, rejuvenating yourself, whatever you want to call it, self-love, whatever you want to call it, it's very important. Not only is it important for you mentally, physically, and for your soul, mind, body, and soul, like they say, it can really be beneficial for your work life as well. So, facial on Saturday, yeah, massage on Sunday. Ooh, I'm going with you. Ooh, yeah. I'm due for a massage myself. So I'm gonna need to. I don't know who you're going to see. I'm up for a massage. I do it every couple of months. I should probably do it more, but that wasn't on my list. There you go, massage. That's another tip. Get a massage. I have one of my sister-in-laws. She gets a massage once a month, without fail. She told me that years ago that she absolutely needs it once a month. So maybe I don't do it once a month. I probably do it every couple of months. But after a good massage, man, talk about flying on cloud nine, and you feel like you could tackle the world. Good stuff. So, well, if there are no more comments or any other questions or any other suggestions, magnet massage. Huh. Okay. Never heard of that. Is that the name of the company, or is that a type of massage? Well, anyway, that is all my tips for self-care. And again, I'm Carla with AHA Coaching and Wellness. And this was a ZEMS member takeover. And I am also a founding member of CommUnity CEOs. If you would like to reach me as far as any of, interested, I'm also an energy healer. So, and if you're interested in a 30-minute free consultation, you can hit me up. You could instant message. People say that anymore? You could DM me. I'm showing my age now. Or you can reach me at my website, which is lifesahamoments.com. I hope all y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope that everyone takes a moment to get some self-care in. I know I am. Hopefully you are too. Have a good weekend, y'all.